Hello everybody, we are here with a timeless reading. Before we get started, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with the highest good. Okay, so what I'm seeing is that it seems like you have a clear idea of what your intuition is telling you, but you may not believe that. This can kind of be like, I feel like I'm getting this message or this nudge, but you may not be at a spot where you feel like totally comfortable following through with that. Or you're like, well, how's that even going to happen? How's that going to work? Or you're just having anxiety around it. Or you could just be overthinking it. Like, I feel nudged in this direction. Now I'm going to stop myself to think about it rather than just taking action. So this is going to get easier the more that you act on it. Actually, is this loud? I hope that the window's not loud. I have it open. Hopefully it's not a distraction. Anyway, coming back to what I was saying, I'm seeing you try to figure out something that you're doing or something that you're starting. Just give me a second. I'm moving things around over here. So, yeah, it's quieter. That's nice. So yeah, I'm seeing something that you're like trying to figure out how to pursue this. This looks like a project or a path or something that you'd be interested in pursuing. It seems like something relatively new, or there are new elements that are being added to it. And you could be at the point where you're like trying to prioritize it or like even figure something out, like which step do I take here. But it may be something that you're trying to like push to the front, like you want it to have more prominence within your life, like to be more of a priority. Yeah. This anxiety that you're feeling, or whatever you want to label it as, okay, it's like static mentally that you're feeling, where there can be like a lot of thoughts that are going into it. It doesn't feel like particularly pleasant. You could be worrying about stuff or just feel really focused on it, but to the point where it's not necessarily feeling like a fun process. This is about doing what you need to do to ground, because I'm seeing a lot of air energy. So you want to ground this. Take all of the air energy. When we have ungrounded air energy, like around the throat chakra area, we can be feeling tension. Sometimes you're not going to experience physical symptoms, sometimes you will. Depends on kind of like what your body's doing and how that manifests for you. Doing things like walking outside with bare feet, or putting your hand against a tree, or connecting with water. Lots of different things that we can do to ground, putting your hands in dirt, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, doing things that feel calming, relaxing, scent therapy. Again, lots of different things, journaling, lots of different things that you can do. But yeah, you want to ground the air energy, because it becomes unproductive when there's too much going on, and you want to bring your energy back into the rest of your body so you feel present. And so you feel like you're processing at full speed. Because I'm getting you may not feel like that right now. There may be a lot that kind of feels up in the air. And it needs to be, everything needs to be circulated now. So just ground that, ground those thoughts. All right. You're at a spot where you are still there can be this feeling still that things just can't be easy. Like that you're gonna have to do things in a certain way to make sure that you break even, or that like the universe isn't just gonna support you, or you have to do things that you don't want to do. Stuff like that I'm seeing pop up. So many different ways that this can come through in the context that I'm seeing it. But it all comes back to this feeling of not fully trusting that if you're in flow, everything is going to move in alignment with you. You could still be thinking that you have to do things another way to make it work. You don't need to, but I'm seeing that's kind of where you are still. It's almost like, why would that work out for me? This is definitely coming back to like self-worth and self-esteem and like beliefs that are connected with self. Which is what you're working on right now. Like that you are worth being compensated, that you are worth having standards, and that things really will fall into place. But yeah, the way that I'm seeing Five of Swords and Six of Pentacles, it can be this belief of like, it can't just be that easy. It can't just be that simple, but it actually can be. It just takes trusting. But it's almost like looking around and being like, what's the catch though? Like nothing has ever been easy for me. It's like that type of vibe where it's like kind of having the chip on your shoulder a little bit. You may not necessarily be perceiving yourself in that way, but it's more so like you've had experiences that you've like needed to create this sort of like tough persona, or you see it as being smart, and that you always need to be like cautious and looking around you because like somebody's going to take advantage if you aren't looking around you, and that things aren't just going to fall into place and be easy. But this is something where you're kind of like softening to this and like opening your heart. The thing with the Five of Swords is that we've been through experiences, and from our impressions and our perspectives of those experiences, it's kind of like built this hardened shell for us. So this is about dissolving that. So this is ego work that's happening here. And ego is there to protect us as well. So this isn't just like, I want to make things more difficult, so I'm really going to have like a bulletproof ego here. This is more so like I developed this as a protective mechanism for myself. And now I'm reframing the way that I see the world and the universe and how I work with the energies and how we co-create together. And I'm realizing that this is unnecessary now. I don't need that. I don't need to be in that mind frame in order to have reciprocity. So that's what you're working out currently. It's a process. It's a process. It's like when you be put in environments where you've like needed to create these defense mechanisms in order for your survival, psychologically, physical, what have you, it ends up becoming a habit out of what we feel like is necessity for our survival. So this is like the unlearning of that. It's the deprogramming that's happening here. No matter what scale you're on, whether this was something really severe, whether this was something not so severe, whether this was like physically, emotionally, psychologically, something with your parents, something with a relationship, you know, all these different ways that this can manifest for us. And it's all coming back to self-worth and self-trust. I will say this again, the reason why this can be so challenging is because like we develop this because we find ourselves in environments where this feels necessary. And so unlearning this can feel very complicated and be a long process because it's like, I needed this. So recognizing that you're not in those circumstances anymore and that you can shed that armor that was very effective at a certain point in time where we felt like it was very effective. It's releasing these things. It's kind of like energetic PTSD, where it's like you had to be hyper vigilant in that way. but this is like a really, really big like transmutation that's happening here. I'm hearing this is really going to change the way that you see things. I'm hearing know your worth. It looks like there's a choice that's piggybacking off of this, and I am seeing the Empress. So there can be something that you want to create or something that you feel very inspired to take action on. It's like something that you feel very deeply within you, that you feel very interested in pursuing this. It can be a passion, an interest, something that you're connecting with, something that feels organically you. So there's a choice to make about that. It can be like about what you want to create, what you want to make, what you want to express, what you want to pursue. You can be going back to your roots with this in some way. Like this could be an interest that like you used to have, or something that you used to want to explore, something that you used to like doing, or just something that you're like, you know what, when I look back, like from the time that I was small, this was always something that caught my attention, you know, stuff like that. And this can feel like too, before all of the maybe self-doubt and like criticism and like the internalized stuff that came along with that, this was maybe something that you were like, I love this, or I'm really interested in this. And just based off of like the environments that you've been in and your perspective of those environments that you've been in, you may have felt really discouraged from pursuing this, and now you may have some insecurities surrounding it, or you may just feel inadequate, or just stuff like that, these sorts of things. Some of you, this is about putting yourself out there. Letting yourself be seen, I'm hearing specifically. Okay. I will say this too. Some of you right now, you're feeling a bit preoccupied by like what other people are going to think about what you're doing or how they're going to perceive you, but it's specifically about people that may not be, that you perceive to not be supportive of what you have going on or what you want to pursue. So this is kind of like, how are people going to critique me, or like what are the critics going to say? It's like that sort of thing. But this is all just being able to connect with that. We can go a step further and say that you're tapping into beliefs that you're actually holding towards yourself. So through our interactions with other people, it just highlights these beliefs that we're feeling towards ourselves. Otherwise, this wouldn't be on your radar. So you're just becoming aware of self-beliefs that you have, which is definitely a step in the process of being able to shed this as well. But yeah, it's something that you're working on. Some of you are very hard on yourself as well, I'm seeing. Too, where it's like thinking things need to be perfect, like just having, yeah, just like perfectionism, that sort of energy. Or just being harsh on yourself. The more that you like create and the more that you give and the more that you get into flow, it's going to get easier to move through this sort of energy of like self-doubt and self-criticism and just like feeling uncomfortable with letting yourself be seen. Because I'm seeing something that you're like, I'm really trying to work on it. I'm really trying to manage it here and move towards things that I feel like align with my worth or align with a worth that I want to have and that I want to believe. I'm just seeing it be challenging, maneuvering through. And also some of you like actually have like people or energies around you that can be making this challenging for you, or your perception of them can be making this challenging for you. So it's something that you're learning to maneuver through. Like, how do I still pursue something that means a lot to me when I may not have all of the support that I want? Like, how do I find that support? Do I need that support? Can I give myself that support? These things. But yeah, I'm seeing this as your guides just being like, prioritize your creativity and the inspired action that you want to take, and anything that wants to be birthed through you. For some of you too, there may be an environment that you're leaving because you feel like it doesn't align with your values, and you feel like it's not supportive of your creativity, and you feel it's not nurturing for you. So if you're currently in this, for some of you, you were in that and you're like shedding that now and being like, okay, I'm in a different place now. It's like new rules. I don't need to do that anymore. For some of you, you're getting out of that environment now because you feel like it's not aligned, because you feel like you're showing up, you don't feel like you're getting that same energy back, and it's something that doesn't feel like it's meeting your standards because of that. And so there's an emptiness here. Yeah, I'm getting something definitely strongly within the environment. It's like maybe not liking the attitude of this environment and feeling like it's bringing up stuff for you where you're like, if I were in a different environment that was like more encouraging and supportive, like that's kind of the energy that I'm trying to be within. I'm hearing wherewithal. This came through in one of the other readings recently, I believe. I think it's one that I posted. But yeah. Okay, so this is like a current thing that's happening. So whether this be like a track record that you have with yourself where you're like, I'm shifting from that attitude and into one with a more open heart, that's what's going to be happening. Allowing yourself to be seen. For some of you also, I'm seeing that there can be a person or an environment or people that you're like, I don't really like what's going on here within the interaction. I don't feel like it's encouraging these parts of me that I'm trying to nurture now. And so I'm going to step out of this because it's feeling empty for me, and I'm not feeling like this is the place for me to be any longer. So you're getting to the point of stepping out of a situation, but it may not be something that's happening immediately. You may still have like a little bit of time left. This feels kind of like you put your 2 weeks in, or you put your 4 weeks in, and you're still sort of like waiting for that process to happen, but it's something that you're getting to the point of knowing you want to do, or you're going to be like putting your 2 weeks in, something like that. Just an example, because I'm seeing there be like there's going to be a transition here that you're making. This also means too that you've really been thinking about your values. You've really been considering that. You've really been bringing them to the front and being like, what are my values, and like, do these situations match that? And I'm seeing a situation that's like really sticking out to you where you're like, this is not aligned for me. This is not physically what I want to be present to. I want to kind of remove this to make room for something else that I want to be physically present to. So that's what's happening here. I'm seeing this both be a physical and an emotional, like energetic thing here that's happening. Yeah, trust your intuition. Your intuition is telling you to step out. You know this. It may just be hard to do that. I'm seeing there also be messages that you're deciphering as well, like learning how to figure those things out. This does look like a choice that needs to be made that may feel like a bit significant for you, but you already know what your intuition has been telling you. Because I'm seeing the High Priestess pop out here, so this is like, you know what it is, just trust it and do what this is. Because I'm seeing something at this point that you may be procrastinating a little bit. You're like, is my intuition really telling me that? It's like, yes, your intuition's really telling you that. It's telling you to step out. Whatever this space is that you've been in, it's not aligned energetically anymore. And you would feel that. That would just be a confirmation for you, hearing that. You feel like you can't make this choice yet. Why? there's something that's going to take some time, but you know what you want to be investing in, and you want to be investing in your creativity, but you have to make that choice to choose, it seems. Make a choice. Make a choice about what you want to invest in. Do you want to keep investing in this situation, or do you want to invest in this like potentially new situation? Invest in yourself and your empowerment. For some of you, your kids, I'm hearing. Yeah, want to do something worthwhile to you, something that you feel emotionally connected with, that makes sense to you. Because whatever this situation is, it's like not making sense to you on an emotional level, on a creative level. You don't feel connected to it. So you like nurturing this other aspect of you is going to be something that feels really like it's nurturing this like intuitive, creative side of you, that I'm seeing this be like a scale. It's like when you're in this environment, you're so consumed by needing to protect yourself that you may not feel particularly like creative and stuff like that. Maybe something where it's like all of your energy goes into like needing to be aware of your surroundings and kind of be in that survival mode, and just like that sort of energy. It just feels very restrictive. And so this is you like opening up, and over here it's like, oh, because I don't have to put all of my energy into that thing over there, I feel like now it's pouring into my expression and my creativity, and I feel very inspired to like get things moving in this direction. But I am seeing an ending be attached to this. So if you're going to make this transition, it does look like something needs to be cut off or complete. It's going to be a completion because it's a 10 that I'm seeing. I am seeing this be guided for you. You know that it's guided for you, but I'm seeing you have a hard time letting go of this. It's okay. It's okay. It's normal. It's natural. It can be very, very challenging to let go of things. Some of you have Taurus placements. I'm seeing that this may be making it incredibly difficult for you. It can also be wherever you have Taurus in your chart. Okay, so here's the deal with the Taurian energy that I'm seeing here. The deal with Taurus is that it can be about like collecting and gathering, and like how much can I pile up, just an aspect of it. And so you may have a hard time releasing something, even though it's kind of like obsolete at this point. You may still have a hard time like shedding it and letting go. And there can also be a little bit of a hard time in like fully trusting this. But I'm seeing you be very much connected. You know what it is. It's kind of just like, are you willing to do this? You know what's right for you. It just may feel challenging still to make this choice. It's like if you can fully like wrap your head around this and go through with it, I'm seeing something that will feel, you'll really feel like you're setting yourself up to thrive in a way where before the environment didn't feel like it was maybe allowing that to happen. Again, it just feels like this old environment, it's not aligned anymore. And so there's a shift going on here. And it's to something where you feel like there's a lot more joy connected to what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be expressing, what you're going to be making, creating. Yeah. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.